Hello, welcome, Tino here, and today we're going to be talking about the production screen, also the logistics, the store, all you can do with this screen, how the weapons go back and forth, how to decide which weapons do each unit receives, and also the upgrades and refits, and finally my personal summary and tips. And if you are in production channel, please subscribe here, it's Tino Dua English. So before going to the production screen, if you mouse over this icon, the factory, you will see that I have some military factories and civilian factories. The civilian factories are being shown in this screen, and from this screen you can build military factories. And in this other screen you have all the military factories and your production lines. Up here you will see military factories. We are using 8 out of 9. This means that we have another military factories that we can use, and we have 0 dockyards out of 0. We have no dockyards because we are Poland. We have no control of ports at this moment, so we have 0 production there. But we have one new factory that we can use. We can build, as an example, trains. So this will add a new production line. By clicking these buttons, you can add different production lines. You can even add 2 production lines. We have a new production line of rifles and an old production line of rifles here. The second thing that I want you to notice is this bar is the most important thing in this screen. This is completely red, meaning that it's kind of at full 100% of efficiency right now, and they are producing 17 rifles a day with 4 factories. But we have a new production line here with no experience. As you can see, it's almost full red, and they produce 3 a day in comparison to 17. So the most important aspect in the production line is the experience that they gain with time that will increase the efficiency. Also notice that if you take a look at the right, they consume irons to produce these rifles. They are going to be using 8 iron steel, and in this situation they are going to be consuming 8 steel also. So this means that if you're going to be buying iron for this production line, it's not a very good deal, because you are going to be increasing just a little bit if you lack iron. You can check the trade here, and as you can see, we have plenty of iron, but we can buy iron if we lack from this screen. Also, some production lines may require primary, secondary, and tertiary materials, and usually if you have the primary material, it's not a very good deal to buy 8 units of a secondary or tertiary material, especially early in the game. Take a look here. We spent a civilian factory to buy 8 rubber units, and the production went from 7.3 to 8.5. So we spent a civilian factory that is worth more than a military factory, that to increase the production only 1 instead of 9 units a year. So a very bad deal. So the rule here is wait for the production line to gain more efficiency and only buy when they require 8 units of the product you need. Let's do a practical example. We are playing with Poland and we are missing some iron, so we check in the resources and we lack 10 iron. So I click this button there. I'm going to buy from the Soviet Union, since I war and the Germans are going to sink my convoys, but I'm not going to buy 16 units, so I do not press this button. I'm going to be spending just 1 civilian factories to buy 8, and that's okay. Now I'm past and I have just a deficit of 2. Another rule is that the XP from the factories, the efficiency that grows with time, is individual. So we added just 1 factory to this production line, and the bar was green, now is a little bit red, because we have this factory that needs to gain efficiency with time. But if we remove just 1 factory, we are going to be removing the last factory, so the production line is green again, because all the first 9 factories have 100% efficiency. That means that if you want to do some changes, you need factories elsewhere, you should remove the new factories first in the 9th. For example, we have 91 production, and if we remove these new 5 factories, let's do it, we are at 84, so we are just missing 6 points of production because these 5 factories were completely new, and that is okay. If we remove this one, it's also okay, the loss is minimal, but if we start removing the old factories, we are going to be getting a big hit. So think twice before removing the old production lines, the old factories. It's a very good idea to build several production lines. For example, I have 36 rifle and 39. Why? Because if you build a new line, you are going to be losing all the XP, all the efficiency, and as you can see, the new weapons are more expensive, and you always need rifles for your garrison. So we have here 46 rifles a day, and in the new line we are producing just 5. So keep the old line for the garrisons and the regular infantry, and use the new production line for your elite units. Another rule is that when you add a new factory, they start with 5 efficiency, or depending on your technology, but when you change the production line to something similar, for example from one tank to another tank very similar, or even better if it's just a variant of the same chassis, you're going to be losing far less XP, far less efficiency, and there are some technologies that affect you with that, and that is a very important choice that you might make at the beginning of the game if you go to decide to go concentrated or distributed. The concentrated have more factory output. This is this number here, 15, and you will see that each time you update your technology, you are going to be getting 15 factory output. On the other hand, if you go concentrated, you will see factory output each level you are going to be 10. This means that if you have the 3 technologies up to, I don't know, 39 or whatever, you're going to be producing 15 more weapons per day. But it has a downside, and a very important one, and is the production efficiency base and retention. Base is when you are producing something new, instead of the starting just with the initial 5%, you start with an initial 10%, you have a base of +5. So it's for me, the distributed is much better. When you change your production line or when you update often, you're going to have also retention. Retention is the efficiency that you retain from the old production. Let's say that you have an efficiency of 50, a very old production line. I'm going to concentrate on in this example, so I'm going to change my production line from these rifles to something else, and let's take a look at the efficiency. I almost lost all my efficiency. That was the retention and the base cap. The base cap is the number you have a minimal guarantee. So concentrated is very, very bad if you change your plans. It's not good at all, and usually for long wars, before you're going to be getting more technology in 39 and want to do the updates, and you're going to be losing a lot of efficiency. On the other hand, if you play maybe with Poland and you want to define the war before 39 with Germany and with a blitzkrieg, well, you can go concentrated and have that extra 10% of weapons that could make a difference, but usually distributed is better. I just told you that when you are a new factories or you move factories, you lose efficiency, but there is one exception, is when the game starts, you can choose to remove or move your factories freely. For example, we just started as Italy, and we don't like this type of tank, we don't like this type of planes, and we can add all those factories to the existing production line. Let's say that we want these supplies and a lot of trucks, and as you can see, they started with 100% efficiency, and you can exploit this on turn 1. Remember that it's only when you start the game. Now let's go to a more advanced topic, the upgrade. This button allows you to upgrade, but as you can see, we cannot press. Why? Because to upgrade a tank, you need to have an old tank in the logistics screen from this same model. And let's click the logistic. This is our store, and we can see all the models and we can see all the light tanks. and we can only upgrade the tanks that are in store. If you want to upgrade some tank in the front line, well, you can remove the unit, you can just select and delete the unit with the trash can, and all the supplies are going to be going to the stockpile. As easy as that. They will show up here. If we just delete the tanks, they will appear in the list. Then the second step is to make these models obsolete. Let's say that we want to update the Fiat 3000, and now we must find out the Fiat 3000 in the production screen. Let's see. This one. No, there is not Fiat, so we are going to show the old models. And we have the Fiat 3000. We must check that this button is not unchecked, because if we press here, now the tank is not obsolete. So verify that this one is pressed. Now we must make a new model of that thing, and we can add, for example, the heavy machine gun. Yeah, let's change the name. New model Fiat 3, and let's upgrade this. Let's save. And now we are going to be building a production line of the new model. It's down in the production screen. Let's move it up and let's see if we can. And now we can upgrade. As you see, we can check here, and well, they will be building more. It will depend on your technology. If you want to upgrade, you will need these technologies, this one and this one. They will increase your production efficiency a lot when you are upgrading. So if you're on the business of upgrading, just get these two technologies. And I think we have covered the production screen. You can do the same with planes. You send them to a stockpile and then you make them obsolete by clicking the button on the right. This will make the plane obsolete, but remember to update it to something new in this screen. Now let's go to the logistic screen. This one is super important, one of the most important screens. Why? Because if you click this button, you will see what you have excess of resources. And let's say that you have an excess of artillery. You will see all the models of artillery that you have here. Sometimes you can see that by taking a look at this icon. If this icon is red like this one, means that you are lacking these supplies. If you have this icon, means that you have a surplus. If you have the sign, it's a kind of a sign pointing up, is that you are you have somewhat in the middle, some obsolete, and you are upgrading some of them, updating, not upgrading. You are replacing, but the most safest way to see what you have in store is clicking here and here and here. And what can you do with this? You're going to be having a lot of surplus, and therefore you should go to the template designer, and let's say that you have a surplus of artillery. Well, then you click your basic template, you duplicate, and you made a new template adding that extra piece of artillery. You change the icon, something new, and you save it. Then in the front line, you just select a couple of the old units that were the infantry type. Let's say, let me show you. Let's say that this was the template that we just changed, and you change to the new template to incorporate the artillery pieces. That way you are going to be sending all the surplus to the front line in an instant way. In 2 days they will be arriving to the front lines, and the artillery pieces will be used there. So I use that a lot of times and save my day. Another super important related aspect is this button here. This will make the unit elite, and you will be sending the best weapons to these templates, and this will make the unit kind of militia, so they will get those old pre-war rifles. So make sure that your garrison unit, the unit that you are using in the garrison, let's go to the garrison screen, click this button, and up here you choose will be the template for your garrisons. Well, make sure that this template is using the all rifles. So let's say that this is our militia template, and now make that militia green. Choose this, and you will be sending to the garrison your all rifles. On the opposite hand, let's pick your elite unit and make them elite, and they will get your 39 rifles because you need some concentration of firepower in your breakthrough unit. Also, there is a very important related button, this button equipment. You can restrict here exactly what kind of weapons and tanks they receive. So if this is a fast unit, let's block the 4 kilometers per hour tanks and only accept the tanks that move at 12 or 8 or whatever this unit is moving. And maybe you have some other units that are going to be using kind of always the all slow tanks, and you can check in the equipment the type of equipment you want to arrive at that unit. And that's all for today. If you find this useful, please leave a like, it helps me a lot. Thanks for watching, and if you have questions, I love questions, please leave them below. And thanks for watching, have a great day, see you.